Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, and I was listening to a sermon the other day. I can't remember the pastor, but he was talking about how when Jesus rode into town rode into Jerusalem on the donkey, right? So when he sends the disciples ahead to get the donkey, they don't even realize in that moment that they're fulfilling a prophecy from Zechariah chapter 9, where it talks about how the king's going to ride in on the donkey. They don't know they're fulfilling prophecy. They're just doing what they're told. And so it's like when you think about that, you think about Jesus is going to take care of the fulfillment of the prophecy because he rode in on, but you have a part to play in it as well. And he's asking you, maybe it's something as simple as just going and untying a donkey and bringing it back to me. But then through that, like the prophecy is fulfilled of, from the text in the Old Testament. So it's just to see the way that scripture, all of scripture just points to Jesus. It's crazy to think about, and just blowing by it, you can miss all these little intricate details. And, especially for somebody that grows up in a Christian home, that was one thing that, and I guess that's why, like I said a second ago, that this year it's been more sobering to me thinking about Good Fridays, because I have developed more of a relationship with Jesus and dug more into the word over the last 2 years than I ever have in my life. And you miss so many things. Like even I'll go back and read, like I'm in the book of Genesis right now. And like growing up, you hear those stories, in Sunday school and stuff like that. And then you go back and read them and they're like, this wasn't anything like I remembered at all. Just getting into the word for yourself too. Not only do you find out new things each and every time you read, because that's what it says when it says the Bible is living and breathing. It's like just last night I was reading in Genesis. I want to say it was like 44 or 45. It's right after, it's right during the famine of Joseph is storing up the food and all that. And one thing that I thought was interesting, and I was never taught this growing up, was if you look at Jacob, if you look in Genesis chapter 32, he's scared because he's about to go see Esau. And, the last time that and I did a podcast about this a while back, so I'm not going to talk about all this, but I just found out this next part last night. So Jacob's scared for tomorrow because tomorrow he's going to have to go see Esau, right? So he divides up his camp. He's got his game plan of what he's going to do. He divides up some of his property, some of his goods, some of his flocks. And he's like, I'm going to give him a gift because I'm terrified maybe this gift will kind of soften the blow, First of all, dude, you stole his birthright and you stole his blessing. I don't think a couple of goats is going to make up for it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so he gives it. He's trying to send the gift, right? So then if you fast forward to Jacob's sons getting ready to go back to Egypt after Joseph sends them back, he prepares for them. He prepares a gift. He's like, send this gift to Joseph. When in Genesis 32, when he prepares the gift for Esau, God basically shows up in the middle of the night. He wrestles with God all night long. We know that story. So God shows himself to him in that moment, right? So then years later, he's still kind of going back to the same old Jacob. I'm scared, so I'm going to prepare a gift for Joseph. And then that night, God comes to him in a dream and is like, do not be scared. I'm going to be with you. I never noticed that before. I never noticed that in scripture. And it's like seeing, and he's another one that's in the Hebrews Hall of Fame right there, Jacob. And you think about that and you're like, even these great people from the Bible, people that we read about, struggle with faith. They have to be reminded over and over again that God is with you. God is who he says he is. God is for you. And so it like gives us hope as believers. Like, yeah, you might be tripping over the same thing. Yeah, you might be struggling with something, but God is with you the whole way.